So today I'm pretty excited to review this product. It's something I've been wanting to review for a while, but never really had a good reason until now. And that's because I'm going up to a cabin for the weekend with some friends, and I thought this would be the perfect item to bring. As you can see here, it's a Bluetooth party speaker. So it's just a huge speaker on wheels. It's made by Monoprice. It has an 8-inch sub. It actually runs on a car battery. And it also has a mic input, so you can holler stuff out at your friends. You want to MC or karaoke or something like that. So it should be a pretty cool item. I'm pretty excited to review it. So we're going to bring it up this weekend and see how it performs for us.
Now, I think most people in the market for a Bluetooth speaker all pretty much want the same thing. They want something that's going to sound great, it's going to be easy to carry around, and offers a good value for the price. And to me, you really can't do much better than the big Jambox by Jawbone. I reviewed this about a year ago, and I still think it's one of the best all-around Bluetooth speakers you can get for the money. Since then, though, a lot of other Bluetooth speakers have come out, but they all still fall pretty short of the big Jambox in my opinion, with the notable exception of the JBL Extreme. The JBL Extreme is a really nice Bluetooth speaker, but it's also a lot larger than the Jambox, and at nearly twice the price, it's not really for everyone. I was actually planning on picking one up for myself, but that's until I came across this party speaker from Monoprice. Now, if you like partying with music and you're in the market for a Bluetooth speaker that's able to play really loud for a really long time, this is one speaker you should definitely be looking at. So let's go over some of the cool features of this box, give you some sample audio tests versus the Jambox, and finally let you know what I think makes this speaker so great. So this speaker actually uses a lead acid battery type, which is the kind of batteries you find like in your car or motorcycles, and that differs a lot from the lithium ion battery types that you find in most electronics. And one huge benefit of that is the battery on this is actually rated at 50 hours, which is a lot higher than you'll find on most Bluetooth speakers, where you're lucky to get 15 and 18 being usually about the max. So that is really awesome. Another really cool thing about it is on the side here, if you remove this panel by taking off these 4 screws, you can actually service and replace the battery yourself. And you can find replacement batteries on eBay. For some reason, Monoprice doesn't sell them. Also, if you notice on the side here, there is a battery level meter, which uses 3 green LEDs and a red LED when it's low. So one kind of drawback of using the lead acid battery type is you want to make sure you kind of recharge it after every time you use it, at least for any significant amount of time. And you also don't want to let it die on its own. So if you just have it sitting in a garage or storage or something, you want to kind of make sure you're using it every once in a while to just kind of keep the battery conditioned. You can also run this off AC power at the same time if you wanted to, and one really nice thing is when you plug and unplug it, it doesn't actually interrupt the music at all. There's also a voltage switch here to switch from 115 to 230 volts depending on what country you're in, so that's pretty neat. And there's an on-off switch on the side, so you just flip it on like that. So as far as dimensions on this, it's 10 inches deep by 15 inches across, and it's 17 inches tall. And it does weigh 27 pounds, so while it's not the most portable speaker in the world compared to, say, your little Bluetooth speakers that you can kind of just toss in a bag, it still is pretty easy to transport because it has these nice handles on the side, and it also has a telescoping handle in the back, as you can see here. So it makes it really easy to just wheel behind you and drag around wherever you want to go. Another really cool side benefit is that it's built very, very sturdily, so you can actually sit on it and use it as a seat, which is pretty convenient when you're just kind of hanging around. The other thing is, Monoprice does include a microphone with the speaker as well. So while I thought this was just going to be some cheap plastic microphone, it actually is pretty nice. It has a nice weight to it, and it's got some metal components and an on-off switch. It also has this really nice cable, which is 10 feet long, so you can kind of get up and walk around, so you don't have to be so tethered to the speaker, which is pretty cool. You can see once you plug it in here and turn it on, it kind of just transforms to a PA system, which is really cool. So if you're going to be yelling at your kids or hollering at your friends or something like that, or if you want to use the unit for karaoke or even doing hip-hop karaoke like what we used, you can go to genius.com and just kind of read off your lyrics there. So it works really well for that. As you can see, it really projects the voice pretty nice. So just to go over control of this speaker, you have all your controls on the front. There's 3 basic knobs. Your first knob controls your volume for your microphone inputs, and you can see you have dual microphone inputs. So if you want to do a duet or something in karaoke, you can have simultaneous microphones, which is cool. You have the auxiliary volume control here in the middle, and that controls if you're using an auxiliary input here or your RCA audio inputs here. So it has flexibility to use whatever input you want there. This also does control your Bluetooth volume as well when you're not controlling it from your phone or your other Bluetooth device. And finally, you have your master control volume knob here, and below that you have the Bluetooth button to connect. So you just hold that down for 3 seconds to connect it to whatever Bluetooth device you have paired to this. And finally, you have 2 slots here. One is for USB and one is for SD card. So you can play actually MP3 file types or WMA file types
which is kind of neat to have that flexibility, but to me it kind of defeats the whole point of this being a Bluetooth box, because most people are going to use Spotify like I do, or whatever music app is your choice. You can then control the those card inputs by using these silver buttons here for volume, play, back and forward, and using that red LED screen here, which kind of gives you your track output and your track numbers. One thing to note on that is the USB input here won't actually charge your phone or device, so it's a little bit of a bummer, but it does have this flexibility to use those inputs if you wanted. Now I also forgot to mention the Bluetooth button here acts as a play pause button, so if you're not near your Bluetooth device, it's just easy to control here if you want to stop the music really fast.
So let's talk a little bit about the sound quality. The speaker itself uses an 8-inch woofer, and it's just a paper cone with a foam surround and a single half-inch tweeter you can see up here in the corner. So admittedly, it's not really the highest quality speaker components, but even so, I was more than happy with the sound output. And for the price, you can't really expect it to use like a JL Audio quality sub. But I'll talk more about the price in just a second. When plugged in, Monoprice says it outputs at 50 watts and only 18 watts on battery power, but I could really only hear a minor difference between being plugged in and not. To me, it was hard to tell unless you were actually actively listening for the difference. I'm going to let you hear a quick sample of that and then demo the difference between the big jambox and this, just to give you kind of a sense of the relative difference between both of the speakers. So maybe not the best demo, but as you can see, the jambox is no slouch in the volume department, and I don't think the microphone was doing the difference between the two speakers justice. The Monoprice speaker was much louder than it seemed in the video, although you are able to hear the jambox playing from about the same distance away, 75 feet or so. The big difference is that Monoprice speaker just sounds much more full, it has a lot more bass, and just has more presence overall. Compared to the big jambox, it just rocks. When we had it up at the cabin, we actually ended up using it over the house system they had. And if you have the space and ability to bring a larger speaker like this with you wherever you're going, it's just so much better for a party setting than your typical portable little Bluetooth speaker. So where a Bluetooth speaker will let you hear some music, the Monoprice speaker will have everyone jamming out. I did find one minor annoyance with the speaker related to the Bluetooth connection. Is every time you power the unit off and back on, you'd have to reconnect it by just holding this Bluetooth connection button down for 3 to 5 seconds, so you can see it reestablishes the connection. But it's really the only thing I found wrong with this speaker, honestly. After using this speaker for a while, I kind of went around and asked all my friends like how much they thought this was, and they all were guessing different things. Most people were guessing a few hundred. The lowest was 200 and the high was 650 on it, which I thought was pretty funny. But it actually sells directly from Monoprice for only $99, which I really can't. It's pretty crazy to me. With a 50-hour serviceable battery, a nice microphone, an included remote, and more room-filling sound than you've ever heard from a portable Bluetooth speaker, to me it's simply one of the best value products that I've ever reviewed. I honestly can't recommend it enough, and I haven't really been this happy with an electronics purchase, probably since purchasing my Vanna2 computer speakers. If you do any kind of backyard barbecuing, tailgating, go to pool parties, or hang out at the beach or park, camping, or just for using at your kids' sporting events or something like that, the speaker is really the perfect product to bring with you. It really lives up to its name as a party speaker. So if you wanted to learn actually how to get it for really cheap, even cheaper than $99, take a look in the description below and I'll have some info there for you. But thanks a lot for watching, and you all take care.